Found the Dai Town Cemetery, which is a bit morose, but I don't know, I always like old cemeteries. Like that person died in 1898. 110 years ago or whatever. A bunch of them I think were in a slide that killed them, which is why they all died maybe similar times to each other. But this one is special. John Mason and Alice Mason. Born in 1888, died in 1899. 11 years old. It says, "At last the fairest fade early, and those whom we cherish and love, too pure for aught that is earthly, are conveyed by angels above." Oh, that's sad. There's more graves. It said that a lot of these people are Tlingits, and they're all just like the regular people. So I'm sure there was a fancier cemetery somewhere else. But yeah, I just camped out here in this gorgeous beauty. Not at the cemetery, but really close by. It was free camping, and I'm just waking up in Skagway, still trying to decide if I'm gonna push on through or head home. But anywho, this looks like a neat trail. I'll go check it out. Okay, here's the real cemetery. Oh man. It's like always a little sad to me that their headboards or the headstones can be not stone and just these wood slabs. But at the same time, it's kind of cool that this town has remembered and kept, I'm sure, making these signs over again. So that's neat. Rest in peace, friends. This is all that's left of some kind of structure. This is a national park. It's a National Historic Gold Rush site. And now it's just forest with trails as far as I can tell. See if we can find anything cool. I can't express to you how good it smells here. I just startled a doe and she went leaping around. There's eagles cawing in the distance. You just heard one. There's at least like 4 as far as I can tell. Saw one flying by. There she is. Hi, Doe. She probably wants me to leave. I've invaded her morning resting spot. But it's pretty gorgeous. And these mountains just nestled right in here with all the fog. Pretty fucking cool. Skagway, man. Die. Gotta go. And then there's the creepier parts of the forest, where everything's just kind of dead looking. When it's 6 a.m. and you're definitely the only person around, and you just went to a cemetery and you startled the doe, it can be a little bit unnerving. But I'm good. I got my mace. It's a cool tree arch. Oh my gosh, finally a relic. A house front. The Gregg building. That's so weird because I stayed at Gregg Lake somewhere on this trip. I barely remember when that was. I think it was like a week ago. But it's not just Gregg, it's like Gregg with 3 G's. That's funny. Must have been an important family. Let's see what else we can find. Deep breaths. This is Boya Lake Provincial Park in British Columbia. This is not where I meant to be. This is not where I planned to be. I planned to be in Denali National Park in Alaska on my way to see Damon. As you saw at the end of the last episode, things got a little dicey. I thought, maybe I want to go home. I'll go check out the ferries. Found out the ferries were on strike. There's no way of knowing when they'll not be on strike. My reservation wasn't for a week and a half or so, but driving up to Damon's was another 6 to 7, maybe 8 days of just driving, aside from the few days that I would spend there with him, which would have been phenomenal. I can't wait to meet him in person, and it is going to happen. Just not this trip. And that was really disappointing for me. And I got pretty emotional about it. And, um, you know, there's no other way to get home now except to drive back the way I came, I thought. But then I found this little highway that went south, called 37. And I only had to backtrack a little bit to get to it. And then it's been new since then. But, you're going into a weekend with no reservations anywhere. And then there's hardly any reception out here. There's hardly any places with Wi-Fi out here. And then this morning when I woke up, I went to plug in my phone to charge it up, and the cigarette charger exploded. It literally exploded. There was a spark and a flash, and it flew apart. There was no fire or flames, but it exploded. The pieces of it shot into the cigarette lighter, so they were like jammed in there. Luckily, I was in a town that had electronics, and I could go get a new cigarette lighter charger thingy, USB cable, whatever. And in the meantime, I charged my phone at a little cafe, and it was fine, I thought. I used some tweezers that I had with me to get all the little pieces out of the cigarette lighter. Thought it was going to be fine. Put the cigarette lighter in. Doesn't work. Probably shorted it out. There isn't a place in that town that sells fuses. I haven't come across a town that sells fuses since then. So my phone is nearly dead, and I probably shouldn't be recording this, but I am. Because I guess all day I've been kind of upset and kind of sad, and I felt like I had failed somehow because my plan was to go see Damon and Denali, and I didn't do those things. And I get really disappointed in myself when I set a plan for myself or a goal and I don't achieve it. I'm kind of spoiled in that I always achieve my goals. And it often seems kind of effortless, and so when it doesn't happen, I have a hard time with that. I'm like a spoiled little brat. So I've been upset all day, and things have been exploding, and other methods I have for charging my phone, like my solar panel, just stopped working. And I could go on and on about the things that have gone wrong, but after a day of driving upset, getting to this lake, it's not just the beauty of the lake, although the beauty of the lake is stunning, and I keep finding myself in the most stunning places, sometimes on accident like this, and just remembering to feel really lucky, because although I didn't achieve my plan, I remembered, even when I was trying to still achieve my plan, I remembered the shaman in Ecuador laughing at me when I told him I had a plan for something totally unrelated to this. And he laughed and laughed and was like, "You don't get to choose. You don't get to plan." And I just thought he was so weird. And I learned over and over and over again in my life that he's absolutely right. You can plan all you want, and maybe it'll work, and maybe things will be great, and maybe it won't work. But in the end, it doesn't matter if your plans work out or not, because something else does. And often the something else is like this. And it's freaking gorgeous beyond measure. And, after some stress, and not even that much stress, I get to relax and enjoy this and put my feet in the water and sleep somewhere safe and gorgeous for almost no money. And I'm really lucky to be here. I'm really grateful to be here. And just like the icing on the cake to all of that wonderfulness that is being at this lake, I found an artesian spring well up at the top where the water is. They have a regular water that you can use, or you can use the artesian well. And I was like, why wouldn't you use the artesian well? Oh my God. And it tastes amazing. After the water I've been drinking, that's been treated city water out of a really old spigot. I've been drinking that for days, and it tastes like crap. And this tastes like just joy, pure, wonderful, blissful joy. I love it. I'm going to drink as much as I can. I'm going to be so well hydrated tomorrow when I leave this place. And even though I was stubborn and didn't want to come here and was upset and thought I couldn't possibly be anything good about tonight, I don't think I will want to leave. Look at this place. Oh my God. Anyway, I just wanted to share that little story of foiled plans and accidental blessings. And remember that everything is beautiful. Everything happens in perfect time. And it's good to plan, but don't be stuck in your plans. Highway 37 south, British Columbia. I found Jade City. Cassiar is an old mining town. And if you remember from that lake I was just at, when I looked down at the rocks that were covered in mud, I think it was some sort of a mineral lake, like an old hot spring maybe. But when I looked down at the rocks, some of them were broken open and they looked like this. And they looked really pretty. And now I realize they were probably a lot of them jade. So I'm gonna go check out the jade store, see what I can find. Pretty cool. Drove down Highway 37 a bit, maybe 4 hours from Boyo Lake, and I found this place. It's not on the map as far as I can tell. I think it's called Kinnelkin, something like that, lake, and no one's here again, and it's fucking gorgeous. So let me just show you the spot that I just got for 20 bucks. There's Falcor loaded with bugs. And this is my spot. I am about to take a nap in my hammock overlooking this beautiful lake for 20 bucks. But more importantly, I get to rest and read and relax right here. And there's no one here. I mean, there's a few people here. There's like 3 cars that I saw out of 50 spots. It's gorgeous. All right, time for my nap. Tonight, my culinary camping cuisine is going to be these fresh broccolini that I just found at this tiny little store in the middle of like literally nowhere. 4 hours away from either of the other 2 tiny small towns. And they happen to have chanterelles as well. They were like $4. So I threw the chanterelles into soak. I already had some lentils and some quinoa in there with some spices. So we're going to put all that together and make a sort of camping stew. It's going to be delightful. I'm going to eat it from my hammock where I already took a 2-hour nap. This is the best. Kanaskin Lake. Alright guys, Falcor and I have come to this not luxurious, not amazing, but very handy RV park where I got a $10 spot. You can see some sunset in the window there. It is perfect for my needs. I needed Wi-Fi, a place to sleep that's safe, and that's about it. So I'm just going to do an update here on the map. It's been a while. It's been a long while. So this is going to take multiple pages, but here we go. See how well I can do this by myself. Last you saw me, I was in Colorado Springs here. I went up toward Casper, and then, oh my gosh, how is Thermiopolis not even on this map? I know it was over 26 and up 20 though, in Wyoming. And then I took this back way in 310 up to 90, and here's where I got really, really sick. And so I took a little detour to Billings, stayed the night at a hotel there. I gave up for a day. Then I carried on again. I went up here, over. I did something here that doesn't seem to be here, but I went down toward Kalispell and Whitefish, and up 93 across the border, and over near here is where I camped for about 3 days with Sasha McDonald. Then I went up some back roads here, beautiful, beautiful country, down into Banff National Park. Stayed at a friend Jose's house there. Thank you, Jose, that was very nice. You guys saw that. And I continued on through Banff and Jasper and Columbia, Icefield, and all these national parks in Canada. And that is where this map stops. So I'm gonna flip back here. And wow, that guy, you can tell, has a very, very large penis. That's how you know. They make loud noises in their cars. Anywho, as I went through Banff, as I said, all the way up through Jasper, out, I stayed a night here at this provincial park called William A. Switzer. That was nice. I went back here on 40 to Grand Cache, all the way up here. Grand Prairie. Grand Prairie is actually a pretty big city. I didn't know. It was like, what, I think 70,000 people? Pretty large. I didn't expect that up here because this whole way had just been lots of nothing. Lots of beautiful, beautiful nothing. Then I went out here, up, and here the map's going to end again. I got up to Fort St. John, and that's kind of where, oh, I hope you guys could see that. Fort St. John here. And that is where this map ends and where Canada gets really, really sparse. So on the big map here, let me find my place. Fort St. John here. So this is the Alaska Highway now, the famous Alaska-Canada Highway. Yeah, I went here. Here was just gorgeous, gorgeous country full of no people. Watson Lake. And right in here is a secret called Liard. If you ever go, you have to go. You saw the hot springs there. Amazing. Amazing. I stayed 3 days there. I couldn't leave. It was amazing. Then I went over this way on 1. Still 97. Still the Alaska-Canada Highway, but to Whitehorse. And here's where I had my crisis of consciousness again. I know that's not really a phrase, but I made it one. I decided to go check out and see if I could head home early. So I went down to Skagway. So glad I did. Skagway is amazingly gorgeous. I want to say I would live there. Some really cool campgrounds that were free and cheap. Both. You have both options, cheap or free. And just a beautiful place. However, the ferry workers were on strike. So I had to backtrack. Sorry, there's a fly. Anyway, I had to backtrack a little bit. I came up to Carcross. I thought I'd have to go back to Whitehorse, but there's this little tiny bit you see there. And I went that way. backtracked a little bit on this road until I got to 37. And 37 is a hidden gem. I literally only went because it was the quickest way home. However, this is one of the highlights of the trip. There were two fantastic lakes, as you saw in this video, Boya Lake and, shoot, I always forget the name, Kiskasan or something. Just gorgeous, gorgeous drive, gorgeous lakes, amazing camping. I would have stayed way longer if I were, didn't have an exploded charging unit, and my cigarette charger, my car broke because of the explosion, and my solar panel for charging my phone also exploded, or broke. So every method I have for charging my phone died, and that was a small part of all of the many reasons I decided to go back, but kept going down, down, down here, past all these tiny little places. Smithers, Houston. I don't know why it's having trouble focusing. It would, wouldn't it? And down, down, and now I am right next to Prince George, which is another larger city. So this has been a 3-page atlas journey so far, and it's just been amazing. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm headed south, south, south. I heard this Highway 1 here has some really great canyon driving and something called Devil's Gate or Hell's Gate, one of the two. And then I'll be back at the border, and then I'll be home for a little bit to visit everyone. So that's where we're at today. The journey continues. Getting a car wash. Falcor's gonna get clean today. This is like nearing the end of the journey, or the first leg of the journey, and man, it was pretty filthy. Honestly, it wasn't that bad because that giant freaking thunderstorm that I went through like cleaned it. But anyway, here we go. I don't even know how close I can get to this thing. Ah, it's looking at me. It moves when I move. I'm so scared to get in my car. What is it? I seriously might get in the back seat to climb to the front seat. Oh god. This border crossing is at Sumas in Washington State. I mean, I'm in Canada, headed to Sumas in Washington State from Abbotsford, Canada, and it's looking pretty busy. We'll see how long this takes. It's only like 90 degrees outside and my air conditioning quit working, so, you know, it'll be fine. Woo! I just got back to Washington. This is my home, my real home. I'm here. Check it out. Here's just one view of the scenic Deceptions Pass Bridge on Whidbey Island. That's where I grew up, folks. You're about to get a treat. And here we go. Oh, there's no cars for a second. Maybe you can actually hear the birds in the water. You can definitely see some chemtrails, but We're gonna go look down there. It's pretty epic. On both sides is an amazing view. That is why people love Deception Pass Bridge. It's called Deception Pass because it looks a little bit placid, but maybe you can tell by that water down there that the current is pretty torpid and aggressive. But yeah, it's beautiful. Nothing beats it. These little coves. You could go kayak around some of them, but if you do get in that current at all, you're a little bit screwed. Anyway, this is my chance to show you a little bit more of my hometown. It's a little bit sad because the cars never end now, and when I was young and growing up here, you could come up here and it'd be pretty empty most of the time. But Whidbey Island is a tourist trap now. People come from all over the world. You can even hear me. People come from all over the world to see Deception Pass and other things on Whidbey Island. So the summers are like a crazy fucking madhouse, and we can't get any really good footage because there's too many cars. Anyway, I'm stinky and dirty, so I'm gonna go find a shower. I found Rob!
Oh, I thought you were taking a picture.
I want to start over, or should we use this?
No, this is it.
We're on Whidbey Island! Yay!
We're doing it.
Eyes open live reporting from Oak Harbor, Washington, where the naval base is with submarines and jets. We're walking down the boardwalk of Oak Harbor. I've actually never been on this boardwalk somehow, even though I grew up here. But this is kind of newer. But it is lovely out here. All the way around. No matter where you look, it's beautiful. If it was daytime, you might see 360 degrees of mountains if you're lucky.
It's not beautiful over there.
It's not beautiful over there.
You can see anything?
Yeah, it looks cool. It's like lighter in the camera than it is in real life.
You want me to push you on the swing?
Yes, in that swing specifically.
Right.
It's quite lovely. This little froggy just came to say hello. I'm walking around in the woods here. I think right now he might just be like pretending that he's dead or not there in case I don't see him. But I swear he's looking right at me. He's so cute. Hi, Froggo. You're not supposed to touch them because your toxins get in them. really easily. And it hurts them. But this is his home. This is Whidbey Island. Just hanging out in the forest with a frog. This is my lucky day. I also found a snake. A little garden snake. He's probably not super happy that I'm up in his face, but he's harmless and he's cute. Look at him. Hello, guy. What a cutie. We used to pick them up and play with them, but I don't like to fuck with them now because I don't think they like it. But he's a cutie. He's a little hummingbird. Super cutie. This is my sister-in-law and brother's cabin. That's their kitchen, the studio, and the little cabin here. This is just kind of the outdoor area. There's my nephew's little playpen that they built, his sandbox, and his kind of discovery sensory station. It's a pretty awesome place. There's this long procession of geese on this beach in Freeland, and the tide's out, but like some of them are chilling, and then a bunch of them start walking. They're just walking in a line all the way out to the water. I'm like, did you guys know that you could fly? They forgot. And I don't know what they want with saltwater tidal flats anyway. But it's pretty gorgeous and very cute. And there's the world famous Nichols Brothers boat builders. Building ferries and boats all over the place. Shipping them around the world. Otherwise gorgeous and beautiful. Yeah, swap binkies. Yeah, that'll help you do the job. Whoop. So all I know is what he's doing for work, and then I stopped myself from looking any further. Sitting on a log, playing with the water. Ooh. Ooh.
I've heard that but I would rather do them after because all you